We are going to see in details about what is routing, why we are going to do it, what are the installations that are needed, how to pick a router, what is single nesting, passing the parameters to a routing, and all of these concepts. The biggest flaw of this is, let me show you via an animation. So if you see here, there is a client machine and there is a server machine. So how does this whole website loads? When the client requests a page to the server, and the server is just going to send you a response back. It is going to be a REST call. Okay, this is the benefit of our single page application. Browser router is typically the most basic form of routing. We'll dive deep into this browser router and see how we are going to use it. Base name. What I can say, I'll just simply say web/web should be my prefix. Now you can see. Interesting, right? So this is how we can create a single router. You can have n number of routes here, and under page B, let me close this. So this is a nested, correct? Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Knowledge Keen, and this is your friend Wasim, and today we are going to see a new concept that is called as routing. You might have heard about routing, but we are going to see in details about what is routing, why we are going to do it, what are the installations that are needed, how to pick a router, what is single nesting, passing the parameters to a routing, and all of these concepts in one go. This video might become a bit lengthy, but I hope you'll stay back and learn the whole concept of routing. So without wasting any time, let's see what is routing and why do we need it, where this whole routing concept came from. So let me quickly show you one particular website which we usually learn, that is W3 Schools. So this is one of a place where we can learn multiple concepts. I'm not promoting it. This is not a promotional video, but I just want to show you how this whole routing works and why does it work. I'm not saying this is bad or this is good, but this is how a traditional website works. Okay, if you see here at the top, at the very beginning, you have a default.asp. If you click something else, it is JS intro. If you click something else. So basically what I am doing is I am jumping from one page to another, okay, using this example. The biggest flaw of this is, let me show you via an animation. So if you see here, there is a client machine and there is a server machine. So how does this whole website loads? When the client requests a page to the server will return all the pages, HTML, CSS, JavaScript associated to it, right? So if the client again changes the URL, let's say from home, it goes to like about us, it will again request the server to send all the associate pages and the necessary imports that is added in the page. So if you click here, it will go there, it will request the server, and the server will send all the HTML, CSS, JavaScript all over again. So that's one of the biggest flaws of traditional application. Okay, there are a lot of other things which handles this, like there is cache mechanism and all of that stuff. We are not going to dive very deep into this now, but I just want to give you a gist what is a traditional page application. In this routing, we are learning about single page application. So how single page application works, it is again the same thing, okay? But here we don't have like home.html or about us.html or contact us.html. It is going to be one simple any.html, like it might be an index.html, it might be a first.html. Usually it is index. So in this example, let's say that my index is just requesting the first page to be loaded. So it is requesting to the server, and all the required HTML, CSS and JavaScript for all the subsequent pages, everything is loaded in one go at the very beginning. But when next time, if I'm calling about us page, okay, we are not going to call in HTML. We are just going to say, okay, server, just send me only the required content via a JSON or XML or any kind of data format. Okay. And the server is just going to send you a response back. It is going to be a REST call. In this manner, okay, what we are doing is we are avoiding all the unnecessary imports because we have already loaded it in our browser and we just need the data and what we are going to render it on a page. Okay, this makes our page very lightweight. So all the subsequent pages will just load in a flash. Okay, this is the benefit of our single page application. There are many concepts again associated with single page applications, such as you have lazy loadings and all of that stuff. Again, as I said, we are not going to deep dive into these concepts, but right now what we are here to learn is React routing. So to understand React router, we usually, when we are working with React, we use the React router. In most of our companies that I have worked with, we have always used React router because it is a good plugin. It has all the necessary things what we need for a routing. It's an additional plugin which is not a part of our React library. It's an additional library. It's an additional plugin. So let's go ahead, and the first thing that we'll do is install this library. So in React router, we'll go to the tutorial. We are going to use, we are not going to install all of these. We just need React router DOM. That's it. And if you see this React npm install, we just need React router DOM, and that's it. Copy. Let me go to our code, open the terminal, and npm install, or I already have copied it. Let me install the React router DOM. It is going to install the latest plugin into my application. It just loads in because it's a very small library, that's why it will just quickly load it. See, we are already there. Let me start. Let me go to my app, and we have component A. Okay, let me remove this component A, and let me just simply load IAM app. Right? Okay. See, we have a simple file, IAM app, and my component is loaded. So let's start with our first routing. Which router to pick? If you again go deep into this library, there are a lot of examples that you might find in this whole documentation. Like we have React, create browser router, route provider, and a lot of other concepts are there. So let's not get confused. We have two simple routers. Okay, that is, the first one is create browser router. This is the one, and the second one is browser router. They again have their counterparts like hash router, memory router, static router, and so on and so forth. But for us, these are two routers, two basic routers. One is create browser router and one is browser router. Create browser router, this is the recommended router for all React router web projects. But we are not going to see this in this video. We are going to create a separate video because create browser router handles a lot of things which we are going to see in that video. In this video, we'll see browser router because browser router is typically the most basic form of routing. We'll dive deep into this browser router and see how we are going to use it. So let's, without wasting any time, let's simply create our first route, okay, and see how we are going to load this. I have created a separate folder for this, but let's start from here. I'll remove this IAM app, and I will simply create browser router. Let me start from the very basic. So browser router, as I said, it stores the current location in the browser address bar using clean URLs. So it is the base form of our router. Then we have another nested tag, that is routes. This too comes from our React router DOM. So the library that we imported or installed, it is coming, all of these are coming from there. If you want to know about routes, if you go here, you have routes rendered anywhere in the app will match the set of child routes from the current location. So basically browser router will keep an eye on the current location, routes will try to match the current location, and based off which it is going to simply load the route. So route, again, if you go here, route, because of the API, use cases for route includes data loading, mutation, and more. So let me just click here. Route, perhaps the most important part, they couple URL segments and basically, okay, let's not dive into this documentation, it's too complicated. So route here will simply give you the path, on which path, which component to load. Very easy. Let me start with my first basic path or my home route. Let me give this as this. So it is a self-closing tag, and I will say a component. So which component I want to load here? Let me go to my routing example. I will simply say home.js. Okay, component const home equal to return I am home component in routing example. Okay, export default and home. So this is one of the basic example that we created, and this component will load a tag that is my home component. It's really easy. If we go here in the app, if you see right now nothing is there. If you go to my console, there is no error. But if you go here, let me simply say home. Oops, why is it giving me an error? Oh, so basically it's not component, it is element. So I can simply say refresh. You can see here I have loaded my component here. So there are two attributes to it. The one is route, which route you want to go to, and the second one is element. The simplest example that we can create for a routing, and this is how we simply create a router. Okay, if you want that there should be a prefix to this page, like if I'm coming from a website, then it should have a web. If I'm coming from an app, it should have a prefix as app. If you might see some websites where they are basically load en for English. This is the example. Okay, React Router is the best example. You can see here en, that means this whole website is loaded in English. You can change the language and basically the whole routing will change. If you want to follow these kind of example, the router also gives that. You simply have base name. What I can say, I'll just simply say web/web should be my prefix. Now you can see the whole routing is broken, so I just need to add web as a prefix to it, and this will start working. Very interesting, right? This is how we usually create a route. What will happen if I don't give home? So if I don't give home, then that is my default route. You can also say the default root folder, that if anybody comes here, again that will be my home component, will be the first route that anybody is going to see. Interesting, right? So this is how we can create a single router. You can have n number of routes here. Let's say that page A, page B, and so on and so forth. Page C, right? Page A, let me create these components, and they are created here. So you can see I have created page A, page B, page C, and page D. All of them are simple components, like just A, B, and C, and D are these components I have created. If you want, I can simply render page A and page B and page C. See, this is how we can create multiple routes. If you go to page A, it is going to simply load page A. If you change the URL page B, it is going to load page B. Easy, right? So this is how the routing works. Whenever your URL is changed, based on that URL, your component will be loaded. So now I'll just simply, for now, I'll remove this page A, B, and C and all of them. What I want to do is, let's create a nested component. So for example, let's say I have something like page B will also have page C. So I have two components here. One is page B, and under page B, I should load page C. So now I am rendering nesting of components. So app under B and B under C. So this is how I'm going to nest the components. We don't have to just go and simply add like this, right? Page C. This will be again like not good, because tomorrow I can also want my page D to be loaded dynamically, and I don't want to show the C. Then I have to add all those conditions and all of that, but I don't want to do that. To make this very simple, what we need to do is we have an outlet tag. Okay, simple. It is also coming from React Router DOM. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my app and here I'm going to say, okay, do one thing, load page B, as we're talking about page B, right? Load page B, let me remove all the unnecessary imports, okay? And under page B, let me close this. So this is a nested, correct? Again, copy and paste the same thing. Under page B, load my page C. Let me change the routing, something like this, very easy, correct? And this should load my page C. What I'm saying, if I render page B, load page B. If I render under page B, I load page C, load page C as well. See how easy this is. If I just go to page B, no error. If I again just say simply page C, it is going to load a nested page C component. Why is it more beneficial than adding a child component? Because I'll show you right now. Tomorrow, if I say that instead of page C, I also have page D to be loaded here, I can just simply say instead of C, I can just do a page D, and instead of C, you can see here page D component is loaded. Easy, right? Now page C is overridden by my page D, and where this page D is loaded, in my outlet tag. If you go in page B component, you can see you have an outlet tag, correct? So this is how you can render n number of nested components, and that will work. Okay, that's very easy. It's really easy to work with. Refresh and you have all of them. So let me go back to my code, outlet, okay, and A. So is it mandatory to give a path to this, and is it mandatory for me to give the B component? No, absolutely not. I can just say, okay, I have this routing, and under this route you have two components. You can simply do that too. So see right now the page B component is gone because I'm just adding a route, and I can, this way I can have n number of routes. So under each parent, you just need to add the outlet tag, and that will start to work. Easy, correct? Very easy. So page B, then page C, and page C and D are the nested components. So, okay, so we saw right now two concepts, a simple router, okay, a single router, and a nested router. Let me show you one more small concept, that is adding parameters to this router. Okay. Let me do it with this, with the same C and D only. Okay, let me just remove this. So I just don't want to confuse you guys. I say again, route path page B, same thing. I'm just writing it again so that I don't confuse you guys. And I say that my, what did I do? Okay, I forgot to close this. So what I want is, whenever under page B, I want is there will be one page ID that I am going to simply pass, and who is going to collect that page ID is my page C component. Okay, what I'm doing, there is a page B and / I am going to pass any ID, and my page C is going to catch that ID and give me back. So let me simply go here. I'll just say 1 2 3 4 5 6. So oops, I'll simply say, so now you can see that page C component is there, no error still. I want to catch this 1 2 3 4 5 6. So these are now some dynamic parameters I am passing from anywhere. Okay, and how I can do this, I can go to my page C component. It's a really easy thing. We again have a hook with our routing, React router DOM. So what is that? Constant. Let me just declare any variable equal to useParams. And if you just print it, console.log params. If you print this, you're going to see there is the page ID. You can take this variable, or the easiest way to do this is The easiest way to do it is page ID. I am destructuring it. See, you'll still get the same result. Okay, you will directly get the value. Very easy, right? You can just have n number of props you can pass like this. Again, I can say page customer ID or something like this, and you can just do a n number of things by doing this. If I say customer ID like that, ABCD, let me hit enter, let me save this customer ID. I just want to catch the customer ID as well. Customer ID, I need to print it, customer ID. You can see it is also getting 1 2 3 4 5 6 and ABCD. Just let me refresh. See, I'm getting both the parameters. In this way you can pass n number of parameters to the URL, and you can also fetch them dynamically. This is the whole concept of routing. This is like you're just doing the routing. I want to introduce another small concept right now, that I just want to click and come to this place. So what we are doing till now, we are just adding like hard code parameters and coming till here. Let me just simply remove this customer ID for now. I don't want to pass customer ID because I don't want this to be too complex. Okay, I simply want to just click on a menu and go to the page. So let me do that in my home.js. So I have one home component, correct? We have seen it at the very beginning of this video. Let me add this home in a heading so that we know that this is a home. And under this home, I will simply say a href equal to, whenever I click, go to my URL. So I need to pass the exact URL. Do we have a page C component here? Separate. Oops, page D. No, let's create a route called as page D. Let me comment this out too. We are trying to keep it very simple. Page D, and this should load my page D. Okay, page D component. I'll go to home web / my URL was page D. If you see here, I have given page D as small and here page D as capital. That won't hamper your routing because routing is not case sensitive. So if you just pass it small or capital, it won't affect anything. Go to page D component. Let me go simply. This is my default route. So you can see I have a link. If I click this, just wonder what is going to happen at the very top. See, it is refreshing and it is coming to page D, which is not good. See, every time you click, it refreshes the whole DOM and come to the page component. It is not a good practice to do this with, again, your basic HTML tags. React Router DOM comes with a solution, like you have a link tag. So whenever I'll replace this A with link, you can see the link is coming from React Router DOM, and instead of href I have 2. Okay, and I don't need even now to pass this whole URL. React Router DOM, or basically this link, will automatically adjust. It will just go find your route, the default routes, the base routes, and it will directly start comparing it, matching it. Refresh. Let me go back. Now if I click, just see at the top, it is not going to refresh. It is just simply going to load. This is the difference between using an anchor tag and using the link tag. Okay, there is one more interesting tag we have, that is a navigate tag. Navigate, it simply navigates to this component where I want to go. I want to go to page D. Self-closing. I'll remove this link also. You see, navigate also comes from React Router DOM. The problem with navigate is, let me add a console here. I want to show you. I am in home. So if I simply go to my home, enter, see, I am in home. It went to the home component and it forcefully redirects the whole page to my page D component. So it is just redirection. Navigate is used for redirection. We saw three things. Anchor tag, yes, definitely we can do it with anchor tags if you don't want to use link and navigate. The second one we saw was link. Both works in the same way. I just have to say link to similar thing, and I can just say a URL. Go to somewhere like page D and link. This and this are similar, except link will wait for you to click. Navigate will not wait for you to click. It will just simply redirect. See, it gave me a URL. See, it gave me a URL. I click it, I go to the component. Easy, right? Very easy. So we also saw how to redirect from by clicking on the menu. Now let me introduce with another concept, right? In this, there are a lot of, in routing, there are a lot of small concepts. We need to learn all of them. Here we saw how to click on something and go there, right? Click on the link and redirect. But what if on some success or something you want to redirect, right? We have those kind of scenarios where there is an API call. After API call, you want to redirect to a different component or a different route altogether. We can also simulate that. Okay, let me do here itself. Let me add a button, right? On click, handle, click. Go to page. Let me add one more page E. Here we have page E also right now, correct? So I am page E component. What I want to do is, let me go to page E, because right now you might be confused like what is page E and all, page D and all that. Let me add this here. We don't want console. We simply are going to handle the function. We have seen this a lot of times in all our previous examples. We have done this. Now, if we click here, we want to navigate. Again, navigate to the rescue. We have a hook like we had useParams. We have another hook that is navigate equal to useNavigate hook, right? It starts with use. So we have, whenever you click this, just simply navigate to page E. Do we have a route with page E? No, we don't have. We'll simply create page E. If someone goes to page E, load this component, right? Save, and here we are just simply redirecting. All good. Let's see if this click is performed. Console.log, click performed. Oops. Save, refresh. Let me go to my home page. Here is the button. If I click, the click is performed and I am redirected to page E component. So if I want to navigate via a function, just call the navigate, use the help of useNavigate hook, and there you go. Easy. My daughter always says easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's how it's really easy. We can we saw if you want to go by a click, button click, or an event specifically, then we can use link, anchor tag, and navigate tag. And if you want to go by a functional way, then use the hook, use navigate, and you simply just call the navigate as a function and pass your route, and it will redirect automatically to that route. Okay, we have seen two hooks, right? useParams and useNavigate. So we are going to see another hook, but before that, the new concept, that is with navigate, I want to pass some additional values which I don't want my user to see in the URL, right? In the previous example, we had this, right? Comma page B, and with page B, I was just passing some parameters, correct? Here, if I just uncomment this, I was just passing some parameters which I was getting, but the user is able to see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I want to send this parameter. Let's say my customer ID is there, which the user should not see, correct? I can simply send it in a hidden way. So how is that? Again, in the navigate, you can pass a object. It's an option basically. You can simply say state and you can pass any state. You can pass strings, you can pass value, you can even pass array and objects. It comes really handy. It's very powerful. I'll just simply send one string. Let me say hello world. Okay, this we are going to go and catch. So what I'm doing, I have done nothing different. The handle click is same. Go to page E with page E, comma, I'm sending an object, and within that object I need to pass a state. This has to be state. We can't just simply say something else. I'll remove unnecessary imports. Okay, right? And in page E, now comes our new hook, that is useLocation. Let me say const location, a good name, useLocation. Correct. It also comes from React.Router DOM, and let's see what all details does my location hold. Console.log location, it holds location values. Back, refresh, and if I click, you'll see it has all the details of my location and my state, hello world. Nice, right? Interesting. Key, ignore it. Hash, ignore it, because these are used by our library, routing library internally. But you can use this path name, you can use this search, and you also can use this state. I'll show you what is search in just a few minutes. But state, yes. Right now we are sending string. Let me say I want to pass an object. Let me create an object above. You can create the object in the same place. Let me say it as user object equal to, I have a name. Let me add my name, and age, I can just add simply some dummy age. Okay, that's not my real age, but it's a dummy age. I'll say user object, right? You can do this, huh? That's fine. So user object, and I'm sending my user object in the same state. I need to go back because I have changed it from the home page. Refresh, click, and you can see my state now has an object. It holds all the name and my details that I was passing, and the user will never come to know where this data is coming from. Even if I simply refresh, I still have that value in my state. Correct? Usually in most of the applications, people tend to pass data using state rather than passing it using props. There are a lot of pros, there are a lot of cons. We are not going to see it in this video because I don't want this to be very lengthy, because I want to still cover a few concepts that we have. So now we have seen useParams to fetch the parameters, we pass it in the URL, useNavigation to navigate within the component, right, within the URLs, and third, that is useLocation to fetch all the location data and the states and all the other details that you have with it. So I'll simply share one last concept, okay, as of now for this particular video, and that is that was this search. If I'm passing, so till now what we have seen, we are passing something like this 1 2 3 4 5 6, and it was working, right? We're using your useParams. But what if it is not like this? If it is coming like as my search string, right? I'll say customer ID equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6. The URL works, but is there a way I can fetch this? Yes, if you see the search, it will hold all the add-on parameters, basically the query parameters that you have in your URL. I can have multiple, right? If you know how to pass query parameters, the first parameter is always a question mark, and the second parameter is always an ampersand. I'll say page ID equal to 111 something. See, it is going to hold all these parameters. Now there are various ways you can take this string, you can just split it and all of that, but there is a good approach to this as well. What you have to do, let me go in page E, and I simply have to do this. Let me say constant I'll take all the parameters, my params equal to new. We have URL search params, right? If you do this, see where URL search params, it is class global reference for your string param. So it is by default, it is already there. You just have to pass your location dot search and what you want to get from that. I want to get, let me say, customer ID string, and instead of my params, I'll just simply say cust ID. Let me print this here, comma, customer ID, and refresh. You can see, let me remove this location, actually, customer ID, and you will be able to find this customer ID from this parameter. Again, there are a lot of ways to do this. The good clean approach is this. I hope I tried to explain all these concepts, right? There were small chunk concepts, right? I tried to give a gist of all of these concepts. There are again a lot of other important concepts, like we have we have auth routes, right? Where we have to authenticate the routes, that if the user has login and password, then only they can visit certain URLs. Yes, we can do that with BrowserRouter as well. And there are one more concept we spoke at the very beginning of this video, that was create BrowserRouter. Yes, we are going to see both of these concepts, but not in this video. This video is already too long and I don't want to bore you with all those nits and bits, because I want to take them individually to give more information on them. I hope in this video you got to learn something, and if you learn something, then please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I definitely am in a dire need of subscribers. We still haven't reached our 1,000 subscribers mark, and give us thumbs, and do definitely add your comments. I'd love to read your comments. So thank you guys, and have a great day ahead.